Good morning, I'm Shehab. More than 50 civilians are reported to have died in Sudan as open warfare erupted between the country's two main military forces. The army and the largest paramilitary group are fighting for control as the sounds of gunfire and heavy artillery were heard throughout Sudan's capital. People have been told to stay in their homes as the clashes continued over the presidential palace and army headquarters. Pablo Taylor has the latest.
The crackle of gunfire in Sudan last night. No signs yet of any de-escalation here. At least 56 civilians are now confirmed to have died in the conflict, with some 600 injured. Above the skies of Khartoum yesterday, the unmistakable sound and sights of fighter jets. This is a battle raging between the Sudanese army and its paramilitary rapid support force. It's left passengers in the airport cowering for cover. One resident told us the fighting has been relentless.
We have been hearing non-stop gunfire and different sources of it, more like bombing sounds and so on. And for a couple of hours, we were hearing jet fighters flying over our houses and also carrying out airstrikes.
Only 4 months ago, the Rapid Support Force and the army signed an agreement to return the country to civilian rule after working together in 2019 to depose the former president. But they have never seen eye to eye, and what makes today's conflict even more perilous is the fact both sides are so evenly matched.
It's been an open question for a while for outside observers as to who would actually come out on top in a contest between these two. And the general sense is that it's a terrible question to ask because such a war would be unwinnable because both sides are so strong.
Among the calls from the US is for both sides to once again work together. But as the death toll grows each day, the chances of that seem to be slipping away. Pablo Taylor, ITV News.
The animal rights group behind protests that delayed yesterday's Grand National say they plan to target sporting events across the summer. Police had to drag and carry activists off the course after they tried to glue and handcuff themselves in place, causing the race to be delayed by 12 minutes. Officials at Aintree criticised the reckless actions of protesters after more than 100 people were arrested as they tried to storm the racecourse just before the Grand National. 3 horses have died at Aintree since Thursday. Campaigners have welcomed the move by Rishi Sunak to cancel the building of any so-called smart motorways amid concerns about their safety and costs. The motorways use technology to regulate traffic, which critics warn could lead to deaths. 14 planned schemes, including 11 that are already on pause, will now be scrapped. Existing stretches will remain, but they'll be subject to new safety measures. Hundreds of Amazon staff will be striking today in a long-running dispute over pay. Members of the GMB union in the Coventry warehouse will walk out for 3 days, with further strikes planned for next week. 5 further Amazon depots are now balloting on whether to strike too. More details have been released about the emergency alert that will be sent to phones across the country next week. A message will appear with a siren at 3 p.m. on the 23rd of April, which will say, in a real emergency, follow the instructions in the alert to keep yourself and others safe. Your phone will vibrate and make a sound for 10 seconds, which you'll have to acknowledge before you can use your phone again. And finally, with just under 3 weeks to go until the coronation, new details have been released about what will be the largest military ceremonial operation in 70 years. More than 6,000 members of the armed forces are set to take part in the historic royal event, playing a part in the procession to and from Westminster Abbey, where the service will take place. Thousands of armed forces veterans and NHS workers will also be getting front row seats at Buckingham Palace to watch the event. And that is all for now. I'll be back with our lunchtime news at 10 to 12. Until then, have a great morning. Bye-bye.